And now Epsilon Esports are actually in trouble because there are 3 players down here. They need to get out. It's 3 versus 4 at the moment. F2's very weak. Shockey's very weak.
Time has been added.
So it's the first round Infused have won. And you can see Soldier spotted the stickies. Good play. And again, smart move by Epsilon Esports. They're dropping back. I don't know if they're going to try and hold this. Looks like they are with the Uber. As you can see, that's actually quite a smart play. Now this passage of play is going to be really important because Dunk, I believe, may have thought that Epsilon Esports are going to think, nah, they're not going to hold that, surely. And Epsilon Esports actually do. They do it the American style and think, hell no, we're not going to give you that point. And we're going to Uber out and save it, even if we have to Uber earlier. And that's what they've done. And now that Mike's gone down here from Infused, that should really be a blue a blue icon. Now that Mike's gone down here, Numlock's up against it. You know, there's a scout going back to the spiral here from Infused. He's on the 2nd level, this level here. But don't forget, if Infused are minus a player, and now Epsilon Esports have numbers to use, and they've also got the height advantage as well. Now Numlock does a great kill there on Shockey. Now this is where the important play. Look at the Epsilon Esports players. I've got to pause it once again. Just look at their structure now. They've actually got one person, one down man covering there, one soldier covering here. Medic on the spiral so he doesn't get any spam. That's so important from the Infused players. Numlock can't do any spam here. I mean, he could really technically chuck a few rollers, but he wouldn't get F2, I don't think. And there you can see the soldier there from Epsilon Esports covering the other side here, all the way across. And also sometimes here as well, just to make sure, until Walters gets in from probably balcony to help out. Don't forget there is a scout there from Infused and a Delman, so it's 3 versus 4 at the moment, with Epsilon Esports having the height advantages. There's no way Infused can contest for that, and this is what will, as you can see, this is what happens. Take a look now. Now they've got numbers. Now Infused thinking, yeah, this is our point. How have we not? How are we going? How are we going to lose this? This is clearly ours. This is what they're saying, and rightly so, to be honest, because technically they have the more players on the field at the moment. If you take a look at their structure, you've got the 2 scouts at. Just get rid of that. 2 scouts at jump pad there. Thinking about, let's take on these players, but don't forget they can't do it by themselves. They need the support of the soldier and the Darman, and Numlock's already used all his stickies and the grenades, so he's just obviously reloading before he can put any pressure on again with the soldier there to put an attack. Again, F2 is in the correct place here, taking no damage and just healing the soldiers as much as possible. And the soldiers are actually in a clever place, because if they are getting a lot of damage, they can just run away and hide behind for a few seconds and regen their health. So if you take a look at what's happening, in theory, there you can see the scout tries to come in, but the problem with Infused here, they're all going for the role. They're all going for separate players. And that's what happened. Quad and Greg go down. To be fair, it wasn't Greg and Quad's fault, but the support from the soldiers were not focusing fire on the correct targets. And now you can see Epsilon Esports have the numbers, and Infused needs to get out. Somehow that soldier isn't down. That's a really good play by Epsilon Esports. There's no real Uber advantage. See, I think they may be pushing through house, I'm not sure. They've had to actually Uber early here. There was a scout coming behind. He's about to be taken out, Quad. Did his job, but there was no need, really. And now it's only one player up here. And now Infused are worried. Look, if you look at their position, Infused are really worried because of a scout behind. I think there's a soldier and a scout behind, maybe trying to kill Greg, and he's getting too much pressure. So obviously you can see there's a soldier there and a down there thinking, can we hold this, can we not? And then there's the other 2 players being a bit more hesitant, thinking, no, we can't hold this because we're being pressured from behind. So the position they're in is not ideal, because they've got a scout who's under pressure, and all they've got is 3 other players here. They've got 3 other players here, just looking maybe to do some damage, but Epsilon Esports taking a look maybe. Let's take a look, see. See the soldier trying to go behind, there is a soldier in. And now you can see Epsilon Esports' position is really good. They push through the house, the soldier pushes through the house, the other medic goes through behind with the Dellman and the medic and the soldier, and then there's one scout here from Epsilon pushing up, and they link up, they sync up so well, this scout pushed in at the same time as the soldier pushed in. So the communication between those two players is key, and it's worked out really well in the fact that Infused now have a massive problem and they've had to drop back because now this soldier is isolated. I don't know if he goes down. Nox actually goes down instead. And so does Randa, in fact, and so does F2. So it was actually a really good play by Shocky and Gear, but for some reason there was no sync up here between the two scouts. And Quad will be going down there, unfortunately. So there are actually two scouts down here. And in theory this should be Infused point. But for whatever reason, they're dropping back. I don't understand that play. I know Shocky and Walters were weak, but I don't know if Infused knew that. So there was no communication there between the two players that died. Quad and Greg there. So that was not clever at all. And now you can see, just pause it very quickly once again. Look at the advantage. You can't see it clearly on the screen because of the resolution. I'm running in full window mode to get this overlay working. 100% for Dunk and 23% only for F2. I mean, I'm sure Infused know they have the advantage, so they will be looking to push in, surely. But there's something happens here. Some miscommunication happens. Mike is on his own here. Mike gets picked off. Focus fire. Takes so many rockets, and it's too late. And Mike goes down. Numlock's gone in thinking he can take them on, but Dunk's decided not to go in, and Dunk doesn't Uber in, and now Numlock's down. So they are actually now up against it. Even though they got the Uber advantage, Dunk has to get out. Look at this. Some miscommunication there between Infused, Soldier, Medic and Demo there, and now Epsilon Esports are going to get this point for free, and Greg goes down. That's 3 players down. It is a royal mess up there by Infused. Some miscommunication, I don't know what happened. And now Epsilon Esports capitalise on that mistake and take it for free. And now it's Uber versus Uber. All because of one miscommunication. So crucial. Again, you can see the soldiers bottom left trying to do a duo syncing with the rockets. And now they think, nah, we're not going to do it anymore because we've... F2's under some pressure. That's some great rockets by Mike there. Taking now, there are 2 players down here. Epsilon, but Randa gets a lovely pick from the window, left-hand side, as you can see. In theory, Epsilon Esports will be able to hold this quite easily. So, Infused need to think about dropping back, and as you can see, this is what they're going to do now. You can see the dropping back. They know that they lost their chance to capitalise on the fact that they just killed 2 players. And you can see Walters, once again, is sniper, and he's probably going to go main and have the vision of everything. Nox very, very weak there. Randa's weak as well, I think. And the medic is on the right hand side. I don't know what F2 is doing. Needs to think about getting back and healing his other men because they're both very weak. Sniper versus sniper at the moment. And Walters goes down. Quad, in fact, does go down as well. They boob it, and now F2 Ubers as well. But Shocky goes down as well, so they've got a bit of a problem here. Not sure where that soldier went from behind, but they are -2 players here. Epsilon Esports, they need to think about getting out. Randa's trying to buy some time. That soldier's under some pressure because Randa's no longer there, so there was miscommunication between Randa and Gear not holding anymore that bottom middle main thing. And now you can see Shocky has gone spy, trying to make a difference on last. Flisco will be staying on last, but the difference is, you'll see shortly, is not the spy.
Alert. Our control point.
It's the scout coming in. Getting a few pistol kills, and Epsilon Esports do enough to hold off second, while Walters gets a lovely pick on last and makes the score 3-0. Looks like a whitewash, but it's not actually, believe it or not. You'll see in the next 15 minutes, Infused managed to make some really good series of gameplays, and there you can see Numlock is actually there pretty early again, but he goes balcony instead. He's 3 stickies ahead of Numlock, ahead of Randa, sorry. And this time, if you look at there's a huge difference here in the structure of Infused. Just look at the structure here. We've got one soldier here, one demo here, one scout here, another scout here, and don't forget we've got the soldier and medic here. That is a humongous transformation from the first few rounds. And the area that is actually the most important is, believe it or not, Numlocked. This area here, because with a soldier chucking rockets is useless. With a scout, meat shot, trying to get some shots off, it's not going to do much damage. But with Damon with grenades and stickies over the boxes can make a huge difference, and just positional play. So it's actually worked out a really good structure for Infused. And if you take a look, you should see Infused actually win this point. You can see Epsilon Esports' structure has completely dissipated. I don't know what happened. I think one of their soldiers maybe lagged out or just went the wrong way. F2's gone down. Gear's gone down. Numlock's under some pressure. Now the scouts are in. Yet they still somehow lose. I don't know how they did. Because in theory, what the setup that Infused managed to do was really good. I believe Numlock was also lagging, but the structure that they had was really, really good. And now Epsilon Esports have got third point and now the second. I don't think they'll get this though.
The control point is being captured.
Infused are right to try and stop this, really. As you can see, Dalman is let in. Randa's not helping, and that scout has to drop out. So that's some great spot, and Randa actually lagged out, so this causes a huge problem for Epsilon Esports. It's unfortunate, obviously these things happen, so now Epsilon Esports need to think about dropping out. That's what you can see. If you look where they are standing, if I just show you, really, really important where Epsilon Esports are standing. Here, really far back, so that Delman here, I should do that again really. It's really important that where Epsilon Esports are standing is the correct place. There is actually a scout there as well, but there is one player that is in the wrong place. I don't know why he's standing there. I think it's Gear. Makes no sense to stand there because they haven't got a demo man as well. So Gear not really being smart there, standing really far forward on his own, secluded, and obviously stickies can kill him really quickly. If you look at the bad apple, as it were, he's in the wrong position there because of Infused. If you look at the numbers they have there, it's 3 players. They can literally just go on to top of him and annihilate him within a second or two, and I believe that's what happens. I'm not sure why he's standing there either, because again, like I said, he must have known that Dunk doesn't have an uber advantage, so he just should have stayed alive, maybe ninja or do something useful instead of just dying for nothing. So if we unpause it, you can see he's about to go down underneath. I don't know what the scout was doing there. There's also actually from Epsilon Esports, there's also a scout underneath. There's 2 players from Epsilon underneath there, underneath the bridge, and Infused aren't going to let them get away with that because they recognise the fact that there's 2 underneath. So what they do is they focus on the bottom, on the players underneath, especially this player here, especially this scout here, and especially this soldier here. They all focus on the 2 players underneath, but at the same time, Numlocked playing smartly and pushing these guys back so that these players from Epsilon cannot do anything against these players here. Drawn that incorrectly, but yeah, basically it looks like a mess. But Walters goes down, Gear goes down. Made no sense whatsoever for them to lose players there, Epsilon Esports. Now the Epsilon Esports Nox does a really good move here. If you look at this, he actually goes in. Let's just show you. He goes in, does some damage, goes out, I think, and then gets Ubered. Goes in. They've actually Ubered now with the support of their downman because of Nox doing some damage already. So the downman chucks some stickies in. Dunk's had to Uber. Nox is thinking, yeah, hang on a minute, we've still got Uber advantage, so no matter what happens, we're still going to win this situation. So he rocket jumps back in. Kills Downman because he doesn't get Ubered in time. Dunk doesn't Uber in time, that was a mistake by Dunk there. And now momentum is with Epsilon, but Randa doesn't get any support, and Greg does a beautiful meat shot on Randa. And so no, but the kill on Numbot is actually void now. There's a scout behind, as you can see. On F2, takes down... yeah, Greg takes down F2, and that was all because Randa went down. So there was a massive miscommunication round about here. When Randa went down from Epsilon Esports, there was a scout here in the form of Greg. Thinks, hey, there's no one else looking here, why not? Goes behind, goes for the ninja kill, and gets F2 inside here, inside the house. So that was really smart play by Greg, actually, man of the moment there. I don't know what happened between Epsilon Esports Downman and Randa. I don't know if he communicated with his soldiers or he didn't say anything, but if he didn't, then obviously that was his mistake. If he did, then obviously the soldiers were not listening well enough. If we resume, obviously now, if you look at the amount of players, Infused have 4 players up, Epsilon Esports only have 2, one just spawned now. So in theory this should be, as you can see, there's a soldier and a scout, as I was saying. You need at least a scout, if not a scout and a soldier, to cap this. And Dunk actually has gone down due to Shocky coming from behind. So in fact, in terms of Uber advantage, let me just reload the HUD. There you can see, in terms of Uber advantage, Shocky takes down Quad, Mike goes down as well. So in terms of Uber advantage, F2 has a clear 40% Uber advantage. And in theory this should be Epsilon Esports' point. If they can get players on this point, they need to get players onto it now, and they need to push up. Don't know what Randa's doing, but Randa needs to push up there pretty thick and fast, needs to hold this area along with the soldiers to help him from covering the house, while these 2 individuals here, as you can see, are going to go up onto the spiral and start camping and getting ×4 on that point. This is how it should be played. Randa isn't doing that. So he gets away with it really, just by spamming grenades, being a bit scared. I don't know why. If he had the support of his men, he would have been fine. They have a slight Uber advantage, not much. See Epsilon Esports thinking about maybe pushing through the house, through choke. No, Nox doesn't get Ubered in time, unfortunately. Now this is a really good passage of play by Numlot. Look what happens. Look at this. I'm just going to have to pause it because Numlot did some immense pressure here, and all he needed was one scout to help him. But he was on middle, and the other scout died with him, pushing through choke. All he had to do was wait for Numlot to go through, because if you look at Epsilon Esports' players, that was all Numlot, who is actually underneath here, did so much damage with his grenades and stickies, and literally every player is one shot away from death, and all he would need is a scout to clean up, but he hasn't got the support. And all of Epsilon Esports, look at them, if you can see them, they're really cautious as to how they're going to kill this guy, because albeit he is a beast, but they're all weak, and one sticky, one grenade, whatever could kill them. But as you can see, no one capitalised on that from Infused. And Numlot was in the correct position to attack there because they actually had more players Infused than Epsilon Esports, but no one supported him. Infused are up against it, so they need to think about getting out, because they are 3 players down here. As you can see, I'm looking at the scoreboard a lot. It's 6 versus 3. Greg's still down. 6 versus 5. And obviously, there's no way Infused will contest this. Now, look at this passage of play. This is beautiful. You've just seen Mike. Just look at this. Mike, you're thinking, why is he standing there? He's waiting. What's he waiting for? This is why he's such a good soldier. He's waiting. He's waiting for the call that they're pushing through house. This is where Epsilon Esports are, inside this house here. And if you take a look at his motion as to what he does, I'll just show you the arrows of what he does. He rocket jumps in really quickly with one rocket jump, gets a rocket on F2, so F2's on half health, and gets another rocket on F2, so that's times 2 rockets. And he kills him. That's a mark of a good roamer, a good ninja soldier. If you take a look now, watch this. You should see him rocket jump in. One rocket on F2, another rocket on F2, and he's down. Now Dunk has the clear Uber advantage, and they're in the house. They don't care about using it early because they have no medic. And now Gear goes down, Nox goes down. So what? If we just pause it here. So what was the mistake by Epsilon Esports? The mistake was no one was covering choke. No one was covering choke. They had a Delman alive, I believe. I'm not sure. No, I think he was dead. That was it. Yeah, I think the Delman was dead. And Epsilon Esports had 2 soldiers and 2 scouts alive. Or yeah, that was it. And they had both scouts inside the house canyon, and along with 2 soldiers. So that means this whole area here was completely free. Normally, what you should be doing is at least have 1 scout from Epsilon Esports on the boxes, but in this case, because obviously then Mike would have not got in, so it was actually a mistake by Shockey and Walters, not one of them not covering that choke area, giving a peace of mind for the 2 soldiers inside the house, along with 1 scout in there as well, and hence F2 went down, and now they're obviously outnumbered, no medic. Dunk has to use the Uber. He's got about 20% Uber advantage. There is a back cap going on though, because one of the scouts has got behind. Now, this may play in favour of the scout. Rand does a beautiful sticky there, jumping onto Flisco, and that scout is very, very weak. It's really good defence by Epsilon Esports, to be fair, Randa there. Doing a really good job, syncing up with the scout very well. But still, Epsilon Esports know they can't hold that. Even though they've lost 2 players here, Nox will be thinking, yeah, we can go in for this. But the problem is with this, if you look at this, Epsilon Esports, you think their position is correct, and it is in theory, but the difference is this time Shockey is on low health, and he was already in. He was already in before the soldiers. Now this soldier is coming in, and this soldier is coming in, but the timing between these 2 players and the scout is actually incorrect, as you can see, because this soldier here is about to kill Shockey. And you can see there's this scout here who's also focusing on Shockey because he's trying to kill their Delman. Numlock 2 is on 101 health. And it's going to be too little too late. Take a look, he gets taken down. Mike gets a lovely air shot on Nox. Randall's under some huge pressure. Gets saved by Walters. Walters chasing. Does a great job against Numlock. Walters saves the day. Now, just pay attention to this, actually. Just so you know, this is what you would do when you're in game. You're thinking, yeah, we're 4 up, 3 there, 3 down. We should get second here for free. You're right in theory. However, there is a problem in the fact that this capture point here is almost capped, and they have, if you look at it, 1 scout available. And I bet you any money that scout will probably be going up top through the window behind all the way from Canyon onto this point, or he could be going from main here all the way through Canyon onto this point. And I believe that's what happens. Epsilon Esports will be thinking, yeah, we'll go to second anyway and cap this in time. You'll see very shortly in the next minute what happens. They get very lucky here, Epsilon. There is a cap going on. There you can see Greg's going for the back cap. However, there's a soldier there to help him. And Flisco there, believe it or not, tried to stop second being capped, but it was too little too late. But Walters goes down, so that actually buys them some time. It's 4 versus 5, but... Oh, apologies there.
The control point is being captured.
There was actually a big mistake there. Let me just show you why. Gear and... Well, no, let me show you in red. The Devil Man came from here, the soldier came from here, and F2 obviously was coming from behind them with the heels. Gear, unfortunately, rocket jumps in way too early, goes for the point. I don't know why. Cap points do win, but you can't do it by yourself, especially when there's stickies on that point and when there's 5 players up as well. So he goes for the point. F2 is too far behind. Gear goes down. Now it's advantage infused because they've actually got numbers obviously on last, and it's just Downman. Downman is really useless on his own on last, attacking as opposed to defending. So now they're in trouble here, Epsilon Esports, all because of Gear's mistake there. As you can see, they're being juggled as hell. It's just really good play by the soldiers. They are intentionally, I believe that, trust me, they are intentionally juggling the Downman and blocking them so that when their Uber runs out they can kill them. And this is what happens, look at this. F2 gets juggled so much that his Uber runs out and he gets picked off. Now as you can see, Shocky goes down as well. Nox takes down Greg, which is a key kill. Randa needs to be careful. He gets out. It's really important he stays alive. You can see that soldier doing that. Was again, I'm going to have to pause it just to show you the difference it makes. Just that extra bit of play. The soldier from Infused, Rocky jumps onto here. Rocky jumps over there. Looks like he's going to bomb him. He doesn't. He just puts a rocket around here. Hits the Downman. Randa, he's on 130 health instead of 175. Instead, the soldier just landed here instead. But the rocket obviously went through to here. It's just to mark his presence, just to say, yeah, Randa, you want to get out of here because this is our point. You can't defend it, mate. And that's what he said. That's what he's done. Bit of a risky play. There was Gear and Walters behind, and now they're up against the Epsilon Esports. Randa with some beautiful ninja stickies right there. If I just show you. Which will actually become very useful. As you can see, the sticky's blown and Byte goes down. So now it's advantage Epsilon because they've actually done too much damage here, and they've actually got numbers now. Don't forget that they get a nice spawn, and now Randa's in. Now here's the problem: Randa's done his job. Okay, Randa has forced the Uber. Dunk has had to Uber, and obviously he's going to Uber his scout, and he's going to Uber his Downman behind. Okay, so Randa is as good as dead. Fair enough, he did his job, he forced the medic to Uber, and now he's going to die. The problem is, though, I don't know if you've noticed it, but look at that scout there. He's about to, I should have really done it in blue, but if you look at that scout there, from Infused, I don't know what that soldier there from Epsilon Esports is doing, but he's about to be toast because they haven't got Uber. If you look at that, it's 77%, and so they end up losing a Downman, a soldier, and because they've lost a soldier, the soldier can't protect his medic. F2 goes down as well. Watch. F2 goes down, Randa goes down, Nox goes down. Why are they standing that far forward? I haven't a clue. They were on 70% Uber, and they've just lost 4 players now. About to be 5 players maybe. Nope, just 2 players still. So it's 6 versus 2. There's no way that scout Shocky can do anything. He knows that. He's dropping back. And as you can see, standard routine stuff there. 2 scouts on the point. Times 4. Beautiful play.
Time has been added.
Just to point out very quickly, Dunk has a clear 40% Uber advantage as well. Looking around to see what setup they have. Infused obviously have the clear Uber advantage, and they should know that. And Numbox is raring to go, and he knows that they've got the Uber advantage, so they need to push in here. That soldier somehow doesn't die. Takes a lot of damage. Quad and Numbox very, very weak, both of them. They've actually Ubered out here. And they have a problem because if you look at Epsilon Esports' gameplay, it was really good. They separated so well, but Quad gets onto the point and gets a cheap kill. Quad actually came from the left hand side because Shocky was actually behind the point and went down to Quad, killing that soldier, killing that scout Greg. But then in comes Quad, takes down Shocky, and then in comes Flisco to help him out against Randa. So that's a cheap round for Epsilon to concede. But well played to Infused for taking up on that opportunity, really, and that mistake by Epsilon Esports. Now the momentum is with